Hey, welcome to the first video of 5 that we're going to go through from Jesus' betrayal up to Good Friday for this week. And the point of these videos is for us not to, read a passage and say, oh, what can I do about this? That's a good impulse. But really the point is to behold Jesus. If Jesus is the image of the invisible God, if he is the exact radiance of the glory of God, then if we can see Jesus, if we can behold Jesus in the pages of Scripture, then we will see God. And I don't know about you, but if we see God, if we catch a glimpse of God, we will be changed. There will be impact. So that's the point of these videos. Let's just jump right in. These will be a short little videos just going through the Scripture. This is in Luke chapter 22, starting in verse 31. This is what it says. It begins with Jesus saying, "Simon, Simon, behold, Satan demanded to have you that he might sift you like wheat, but I have prayed for you that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned again, strengthen your brothers." Peter said to him, "Lord, I am ready to go with you both to prison and to death." Jesus said, "I tell you, Peter, the rooster will not crow this day until you deny 3 times that you know me." In this little passage here, we see Jesus loving his disciples. Even the repetition of Simon, 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 it reminds us of just a few moments earlier when Jesus was looking at Jerusalem saying, "Jerusalem, Jerusalem." It shows deep feeling, it shows emotions. And he knows that Satan, just like he got Judas, is trying to attack all of the disciples, to sift them like wheat, to shake them out of their faith. Now, Jesus has prayed for Peter, that's what it says. Now, Peter's faith does stumble. We know that. He'll betray him. That's what Jesus has said before the rooster crows. But his faith will not ultimately, completely fail, thanks to Jesus' prayer for him. And I think it's amazing to think that even now Jesus is in heaven interceding on our behalf, that our faith may not fail either. Let's move on to verse 35. "And he said to them, 'When I sent you out with no money bag or knapsack or sandals, did you lack anything?' They said, 'Nothing.'" This is in reference to when he sent them out 2 by 2. He said to them, "But now let the one who has a money bag take it, and likewise a knapsack, and let the one who has no sword sell his cloak and buy one, for I tell you that this scripture must be fulfilled in me. And he was numbered with the transgressors. For what is written about me has its fulfillment. And they said, 'Look, Lord, here are 2 swords. And he said to them, 'It is enough.'" Here we see, there's some confusing things there, but what we see at the core is Jesus' desire to fulfill the prophecies about him. In there, he quotes from a prophecy from Isaiah 53, one of the most incredible prophecies about the suffering servant who is Jesus. And when Jesus reads that prophecy in Isaiah 53, he is so completely, has the sense of necessity that he has to complete and fulfill all that is written about him. And what are those prophecies? It's his Father's will. Jesus was steadfastly doing his Father's will, no matter what it takes. Let's move on to the last section, and that'll be the end of this video. "And he came out and went, as was his custom, to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples followed him. And when he came to the place, he said to them, 'Pray that you may not enter into temptation.' And he withdrew from them about a stone's throw and knelt down and prayed, saying, 'Father, if you are willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done.' And there appeared to him an angel from heaven, strengthening him. And being in an agony, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. And when he rose from prayer, he came to the disciples and found them sleeping for sorrow. And he said to them, 'Why are you sleeping? Rise and pray that you may not enter into temptation.'" This is a very famous passage where Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane and he's praying for the cup to be removed from him. What does that mean? Back in the prophets, the cup of God's wrath was signaled God's wrath. He would tell the nations, "You must, the wicked nations, the sinful nations, you must drink the cup of the wine of my fury." And now Jesus understands and knows, because of Isaiah 53, because he's going to be crushed for the iniquities of the transgressors, for you and for me, the Father has a cup of his wrath for Jesus to drink, and that'll be the cross. And here we have Jesus in his humanity praying, "God, if there's any other way, remove this cup from me." And yet right away he knows, "Not my will, but your will be done, Father. Whatever you have for me, I will do it." And he prayed more earnestly. You can see the agony, you can see the anxiety that Jesus was facing here, and yet he resolutely determined to do his Father's will. tomorrow we'll continue on this journey of Jesus to the cross.